Hello, fellow creatives, and welcome to day 16 of the 30 Days of Painted Elephants project and vlog every day in August. I am thrilled that I've made it past day 15. They say to make something a habit, you have to do it for 30 days, and we are all halfway there. So that is really exciting. We're over the precipice and the end is near. Not that I want the end to be near, but I do like accomplishing things. Celeste from Find Your Purple asked me in one of the comments the other day what music I listen to when I create. And it is actually an important part of my creative process. Just like lighting that candle over there is a very important part of my creative process. Listening to music while I create is key. I don't do it without it. One of my favorite playlists on my Spotify is acoustic favorites. I love other people's creative renditions of famous pop stars. I tend to stream towards more of the mellow, laid back, very poignant lyric type of music. My husband loves rock and roll, and I like the kind of folk pop type of stuff, like Mumford and Sons and Ed Sheeran and Sia and stuff like that. So that's what I listen to in the studio, and it's really important for my creative process. But I wanted to get real with you guys today. I'm troubled today. I'm struggling. I was up at 1:30 this morning and I didn't fall back asleep until 4 o'clock. And what was keeping me awake was money. I don't have any fears. I don't have a fear of spiders. I don't have a fear of snakes. I don't have a fear of needles. I don't have a fear of fire, I don't have any fears except for a fear of money and not ever having enough. All I can remember is when I was a little kid, I would go to the store with my sisters and I would be afraid that I wouldn't have enough money once I got to the till. I don't know if it relates to me not feeling confident in math or what it was, but ever since I was a kid, I had this fear. So right now we just bought a house and I have all of this money woes running through my mind. And I realized at 1:30 this morning that a fear of not having enough money is the only fear I have in life. But as a good life practitioner of the unbelievable guru Gabrielle Bernstein, I love her work and her books and her message and everything she stands for. I know that what you put your energy towards persists. So if I continue to have a fear of not having enough money to buy the new appliances or pay for the eaves troughs or fix the pool and all of these things that we're gonna have to do with this new house, if I always come from a fear of lack, then I'm going to perpetuate that feeling. So I'm gonna dive into today's painting and I'm going to try and shift my mindset about that. But my question to you vloggers is, what great resources do you know of that can help me overcome my fear of the lack of money? Or let me know in the comments below, what is your fear? Even if it's a fear of snakes. My husband has a fear of snakes. When we moved to our house, there was a snake in the pool the first time we used it, and I was the one who had to get it out. So let me know in the comments below, and I'm gonna dive into today's painting. I'm going to use this one as my starting off point today. This is number 3 in the 4x4 series that I am doing in conglomeration of the 30 Days of Painted Elephants project. And this will be my jumping off point today, and I will walk you through my process. Let's rock. So I was looking at the other paintings and I noticed that just based on their layout and then the way I want them to sort of go in this series, I see that I have to establish the horizon line to be on the bottom little quarter of this canvas. So I went ahead and I made that decision first, and now it's just a chance to go ahead and make a whole bunch of layers. I am wanting to keep this one a little bit more on the tan and yellow ochre side. This is where I am journaling all of those fears. I need to get them out And one technique you'll see a lot of mixed media artists do is that they journal over top of their words so that it looks illegible, but it still looks like a writing and interesting creative piece. My favorite trick, dragging white paint with the back of a palette knife. There's a really good example here of how to use that credit card. It's a great way to establish the lines, and sometimes I have to turn it the other way to make it straight. I don't know why, but it's just a trick of my mind somehow. And I wanted to add these music notes because we had talked about the music notes in the intro, but I actually incorporate music notes in a lot of my work because music notes have so much meaning to me. Music is like another language to my soul next to art. So I use it quite a bit. It is far more than just a piece of paper. And that piece is actually really interesting because it's actually vellum. It's not, it's see-through, so you can still see some of the layers that are underneath it. It's really, really cool. You get it in a roll. It's by Tim Holtz. Journaled a little bit more on that corner and then wanting to sort of break it up a little bit using some of that dragging of the palette knife technique. Just playing around here. I'm thinking I want to keep this yellowy theme. I want to stay away from a whole lot of the blue in this one. I've got a lot of blue and raw umber in the other two pieces, so I'm trying to keep this one in the white, beige, teal realm. Sometimes I struggle a little bit with what to do next, so one thing that you just have to do is keep making decisions and keep moving. If you just sit and stare, you'll just get lost and things will just not turn out. So I made a really bold move there, and I used the raw umber high flow acrylic in that area, and I'm loving those drips. That's really great contrast in that corner. Looking nice and muddy, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Now I struggle a little bit with the shape of this elephant. I draw it this way and it doesn't really work. It's a little bit too small. The legs are a little bit too stout and it's really not working out for me. I'm using the brown watercolor pencil. So I sketch it this way and then I'm gonna just kind of clip over to when I finally get it drawn in, because there's no point in you watching me struggle through this drawing area part. Ultimately, I redid it one more time, only this time it left sort of dents into the painting and it really looked cool and weathered, so I really like that look, so I just wanted it to kind of stay there, so you can see that it's kind of just sort of peeking out there. It still looks like a sketch, but it looks like an old drawing on really old paper, and I really wanted it to stay that way. So just pulling in some teal here with that horizon line, trying to get a little bit more color up in here, and then just sort of blocking out with the raw umber to try and make that elephant show up a little bit more. Once again, painting the exterior versus the interior of the elephant. That's just the way I work. Here, wanting to incorporate that teal, it was looking very two-dimensional, so I just literally did a whitewash of that teal and I dragged it around with my fingers and I think it looks perfect. For whatever reason, I am determined to get that side to be white. I don't know what's the decision there, but I keep going back there, I keep doing it, so. That white paint still kept drying very, very, very translucent. I wanted it to be a lot thicker, but it just wasn't working. I love these 3 colors together, or 4 colors together. They just have a really fun little marriage, and they create really great little grunge pieces together. I think that's probably why Donna Downey chose them, because they make this really cool oil slick type of grunge, which is very, very appealing. This canvas is still giving me some challenges, but I am working through it. Maybe it has something to do with my mood. I'm not sure. Sometimes you never know how your mood is going to influence what's going to happen in the studio that day. It can be good or it can be bad. I wanted to reestablish those scribbles and journaling, so I did more journaling there. I love that teal ampersand. I just happened to come across that shape, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and cut it out and use it, playing around with the placement of it. Don't want it to be too obvious of where it's kind of there, so I liked it sort of nestled in that area that had similar color already. It's not too in your face this way. I'm still playing with that quote. I needed some white 3D elements in here, so I found this music note punch that I had already cut out in my stash, and I just glued it down there. And I really like that the intention here is so that it draws your eye around. So now you start at the bottom right corner, you move up to the ampersand, and then you follow around to the elephant. So the whole idea about a lot of these elements is to make the viewer's eyeballs move across the canvas so that they can investigate and see all the funky, groovy things that are going on. Need some more white paint, but I don't want it to make it look too intentional, so I'm going back in, fighting with this dang thing. Once again, I'm trying to get that white corner to show up. I am very determined. But in the end, I end up being happy with it. There's that quote again. It says, "What you choose to believe." Which is very fitting for today, because what I choose to believe about being in lack and not having money, choosing to believe that is a choice, whether it's true or not. And I added some blue French script there, which I was really, really happy with. And I just had to get some raw umber into that area of the end. It was kind of bright and shining a little bit too much, so I had to deal with it. And now I'm actually just taking a graphite pencil and further establishing those lines. The black is a little too stark. I wanted to stick with what was naturally happening, and it was just sort of that old map kind of drawing on parchment paper that I was trying to play with. And to finish it off, just dragging some of that white paint with the back of the palette knife. And I think I'm finally getting it there. Finally getting it to come together. That piece of paper was kind of drawing a big wrinkle there, so I just made it all cohesive so it didn't stand out so much. And just creating a little bit of shadows and some final details. And that looks like that's about it. It may change a little bit once I get the 3 of them together. Once again, I am a little surprised at how long these take. It just goes to show you that your creative process is just what it is and that you cannot rush it. I'm trying to hurry so that I can get all these paintings out, and the universe is just telling me to slow down and just do your thing. Because this painting I thought would take about 45 minutes. It took an hour and a half. I was really struggling with it at points. So a big, big lesson learned repeatedly in this 30 Days of Painted Elephants project is simply that the kind of work that I do is not quick work. It's all done. Here we go. I'm really, really happy with this little elephant. As you saw throughout the video, he or she went through a lot of different transformations. And when I removed that, it kind of just showed up and it wanted to live there. So that is day 16 of the 30 Days of Painted Elephants project. When I was drawing and scribbling, I was really writing out all of my fears about money and all of the things that my attention has been on. And I'm hoping that that helped do a little bit of a fear cleanse. Once again, so blessed that I have this studio space and this place to get my heart and my emotions out on the canvas. It is something that I treasure, and I know that it is the way that I deal with self-care. So thank you for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to not miss a thing, and I will have all 3 paintings on my Instagram stories. So go to @wholeheartedart on Instagram and the hashtag 30 Days of Painted Elephants. I will see you tomorrow.